YouTube, we're back, episode 3, and we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. I am now officially part of the 1% Club.
Time, of course you are. Make sure it's on Strava. Keep going, guys. Steve ran London last year.
So it has been around about a week or so after the Manchester Marathon, and I would have done this video sooner. However, I have been literally dying this past week. So just before, the week before the marathon itself, if you watched my previous video, I'd have talked about how I was just having a bit of an illness, like hot and cold, flu symptoms, stuff like that. Not ideal when you're about to run a marathon, of course. So I honestly can't believe this at the minute. We're on Saturday, and today I woke up feeling absolutely horrendous. Of all the times to get ill, it was literally the week before the big day. Woke up with the worst hot and cold sweats, real bad kidney pains, and just generally just feeling like absolute arse. I'm now starting to say that my aim is just to finish. Like, I literally do not care what time I get, but the way I felt this morning, it was grim. I trundled on, I was like, I am not missing this at all. So prep went as normal for the last week. High carb calorie days, which was really, really hard. I think it was Thursday, I had to eat 800 grams of carbs, which it sounds amazing, but trust me, it's difficult. But yeah, the prep went okay. We kind of headed up to Manchester on the Saturday. We stayed over Saturday night and then Sunday after the marathon too. So we got a little Airbnb, nice little place, not far away from the start line. We actually ended up walking to the start line on the marathon day because there was road closures and the trams were absolutely heaving, so it was easier for us to actually walk there. We actually caught a glimpse of the first runners of the day running past. But yeah, so the day of the marathon, woke up, didn't feel all that great, if I'm honest. Tell you what, should we wear it? Let's wear it. I haven't worn this enough, you know. Let's wear it. So on marathon day itself, yeah, just didn't feel, this in the morning didn't feel great. Nailed down some Rice Krispies and just tried to get as much energy and carbohydrates in as I possibly could. So yeah, we walked up to there in the morning. Our race time was 11 o'clock and we set off, me and my brother set off 11 o'clock. Let's go. And you know what, for the first half of the marathon, it actually went reasonably okay. My brother Ryan, he set like some kind of split thing on his watch to say like to start off quite slowly and then build up the pace. I kind of followed that to the letter pretty much until we got to the halfway stage. But yeah, the first half was reasonably good. I did notice my heart rate was a little bit high, but I didn't feel too bad in myself. And yeah, that kind of went well. And then we saw our family and our partners and stuff. We saw them at mile 4, I think it was, which was a nice little start, which you'll see on screen now. And then we headed out of Manchester and we headed up towards Sale and then Altrincham. And basically Altrincham was like the halfway point. Anyone who's run the Manchester Marathon before will know that there is a hill in Altrincham which everyone kind of talks about. It was only a small hill. Yeah, it was tough going up there. And there's a video of me actually as I'm running up there trying to film it and I sound really out of breath. But yeah, we got up there fine. Saw our families again at sort of the 13 mile point as we was going through Altrincham. It was a little bit of a quick stop, but like we didn't see them till last minute, so we couldn't stop again. And we carried on. And then we agreed, me and my brother basically agreed that once we got to 25 kilometres, we was just going to take a bit of a walk, get some energy gels in, get a drink in, just kind of get ourselves set ready for the second part of the run. So that was about 15 miles in, and we got down this road, we had a little walk, stopped for a quick wee, and then we hit the cramp. Well, I did anyway. I hit cramp. And I started running and wow, the quads cramp kicked in, let me tell you. It was horrible. Like it was just, my quads were just tightening and tightening and tightening, and I ended up having to stop and just start walking again. And we kind of mutually agreed, I was just like, I don't want to hold you up, like if you want to keep running, if you feel okay, like go. I don't know how long this cramp's going to be around. The short story is from that point onwards, so about 15 miles in, I was cramp. I had to deal with cramp. Both quads and my left calf started to go as well a little bit, but that was obviously the tough point. And watching a lot of reviews back and hearing about people's stories and that, a lot of people struggled on the day. It was a really, really hot day, hotter than most people expected, I think. So that caught a lot of people out, and yeah, it just absolutely crippled me all the way back. So it was just a case of walking, trying to stretch where and when I could. But I mean, trying to stretch your quads, my hamstrings were then were then tightening up and cramping. I was trying to stretch my calves, but then my quads were tightening because the position I was in to try and stretch my calves. But like there was one stage where I got to the corner, I just had to kind of like go on my haunches and just try and stretch my quads off without actually stretching anything else on my body. And this little old dear came over to me, bless her, and she was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I just got a really bad cramp. She was like, would you like some water? Would you like some sweeties? I was like, oh, that would be amazing, thank you. So she brought over a bottle of water, a couple of Haribos and stuff, and that was a really nice moment. That was cool. Got running again after that, and it was just a case of running as far as I could, and once I started feeling like enough cramp, I just had to end up walk again and try and just spit it out. And I think my running splits per kilometre turned into about 7.5 minutes, which for us, we was trying to stick to around about sort of 5:40 up to 6 minutes for the whole thing. But yeah, that obviously didn't go to plan. But yeah, like that second part of that was all mental. And to be honest, I can't remember some of it. I feel like I've forgot some of it already because like you're just in this weird headspace where you just got to get through it. But it was an amazing experience, let me tell you. And sort of going towards the last couple of miles, my family and Alicia was at mile 25 or just after, and it's like kind of turns the corner. So as I'm running towards them, and I already knew they was there, Alicia texted me and then was like, oh, I'm mile to it. And I think I was on mile 24, and I was like, emotionally just came over, like my eyes were like really filling up, and it's just like I was like, oh my god, when I see these I'm gonna absolutely burst into tears. Like, so I tried to I was like, come on Lee, pull yourself together, man. There's nothing wrong with obviously showing emotion, but I was just like, I want to be happy when I see them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be bawling my eyes out. Obviously this moment you'll be watching right now, it was an amazing moment because obviously you could see I was running towards him. I saw my dad on the left hand side, but then obviously I could just my tunnel vision. I was just like, there she is. Let me go and see her.
You're doing amazing. I'm so sweaty.
And it was a massive pick me up because that was knowing they was at mile 25, and obviously the last couple of miles is just like out on your feet completely. I managed to get round to the finishing line. Could see it in front of me. I was like, oh my God, we are here. And honestly, the crowd down, it was just a very straight road and the end was just there. So you could see it for quite a way. And the crowd that was there, the atmosphere, and like I said, I was going to talk about the atmosphere anyway. But yeah, running down that final straight, saw my family and Alicia again just on the way. I didn't realise I was going to be there, but they shouted me, and that was again a really nice moment. And then, yeah, crossed the line. Pick this baby up, 4 hours, 41 minutes. I did want to, our aims and goals was to get under 4 hours, but there was, that day there was no chance I was going to get there. I mean, post-run, I was just absolutely blitzed. Like, I had nothing in the tank. I was just laid out. And the kind of virus and everything like that afterwards just hit me like a ton of bricks. And like I say, last week I was just floored. I had a couple of days in bed. I had to go get blood tests and chest scans just because my breathing was quite bad. Luckily, it's just a massive viral infection, a bit of an issue with a viral infection in my lung as well, which the x-ray showed up. But yeah, that's why it's taken me so long to get to this part of like doing this video. But honestly, like the day itself, and like I said, the atmosphere, the people there, oh my God, probably the best feeling. And it comes close to probably playing football in front of like a large crowd. Like, I've not played in front of massive amounts of people. Back in my Grimsby days, I played in front of, I think it was 5,000-6,000 one pre-season game. We was playing Leeds United. And that was an amazing atmosphere, but like, it was a completely different time to that. Obviously, this was just purely, the marathon is all about you and getting the job done. And people just lined the streets near enough the whole way down. Old guys with hose pipes, you had people like playing music. So many people are offering sweets, offering drinks.
Huge effort from every single one of you today. Manchester, make some noise!
The thing that gets me is you're running around there. Obviously, you've got your vest on with your name on, but people shouting your name and giving you inspiration, giving you encouragement. And when I think back to it, I think people are literally there 3-4 hours so, and they just stood there cheering random people on. And it takes them 3-4 seconds to say something to you. And for us as the runners, like when, especially that last little bit, I always remember this one guy. I was walking and he was just like staring at me. He's like, come on Lee, you can do this, my man, and all this. And it honestly picked me up so much. I was like, yeah, I fucking can do this. Like, he's telling, like, go and do it. And all the way around, people just doing that for you. And like I said, you would be there 3-4 seconds, they would shout your name, and it meant a massive amount to us as the runners. Think about the amount of people they saw and the amount of people they shouted just to like encourage people and go for it. And it was the most amazing atmosphere. I know my family, Alicia, they all said like the atmosphere on the day was incredible. Like people just cheering people on, people having signs, people having house parties. Even this, oh my God, it was a moment where there was just like this old people's home and there was all out lined the street, all in the little wheelchairs and stuff like that. They'd made signs, they were shouting, there was like doing these rattles. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Nothing I've ever experienced in my life was that. And that's probably one of the things for me. I always said right at the end of the race, I was like, I'm never doing this again. It's horrible, blah, blah, blah. Never, ever again. Actually now taking stock, looking how it went, obviously knowing that I was not at 100% as well, which I think frustrated me because of obviously what happened, the time that I got and the time that I did want to get, and probably the feelings of how I felt during the whole race did put a bit of a dampener on it. But that experience, that emotion, that atmosphere, like throughout the race, it's just like, God, I want to do that again. I want to feel that again. It's just the fact that you have to run 26.2 miles to get it, which is not ideal, right? But honestly, like I said, amazing experience. One of the best things I've ever probably done myself. It was amazing to do it with my brother as well. Like, he's trained really hard for it. Annoying that he beat me by 3 minutes, but you know, I'll have him again another time. And yeah, who knows? We will see. But it's been, honestly, I've loved the process of it all. Was amazing. And I think that's why having a goal and like setting something big to work towards is so key. Yeah, you get the kind of post-goal like blues and you think, right, what am I going to do next? And that's what I've kind of been trying to work out, what my next steps are and what I want to do. But yeah, just for the whole day itself, the achievement of doing it, the amount of effort and stuff that you put into your training, your nutrition, the amount that you look after your recovery. Like, I spent so much money on just going for massages each week to stay limber, to stay fresh. But it was worth every penny, worth every second. So yeah, something that I'm proud that I've achieved. I always said when I was 18, I was like, I'm going to do the marathon when I'm 18. All right, we're a little bit behind schedule. But yeah, can't take that away. Part of the 1% club. And we've got this baby to cherish forever now, to say that I have been a marathon runner. But as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like and bloody subscribe, will you lot? But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you as a marathon runner. And I'll see you in the next one.